Injury news coming up here on Minnesota Vikings Now. Before we break it all down, I am told by my boss Jack that we need 25 new subs today, or else. Now, he did not say what the or else entailed, but he had a vaguely villainish look on his face, and I am concerned that physical harm might come my way if we don't do that. So help us out and help you yourself out by getting free Vikings videos every single day by subscribing right now. As you might expect, today's video focuses all on injury news and notes and updates on Minnesota after a tough loss that had some injuries to go along with it as well. We begin with the biggest news. That is on Dalvin Cook, the Vikings' #1 back and one of the better backs in the entire NFL. He was carted off the field late in the game, right? He has suffered a dislocated shoulder as well as a torn labrum on that left side. Now, the good news here for Dalvin Cook is this is not believed to be a season-ending injury. In fact, it might not even require an injured reserve stint for Cook. Here's what Ian Rappaport broke down earlier today. Cook tore his labrum while dislocating his shoulder. Sources said the MRI revealed, which of course he had earlier today. But the ailment is not season-ending. The hope is this is like 2019 when the team rests Cook a few games to have him healthy for a playoff run. The Vikings play the winless Lions next week, then have a short week against the Steelers. If all goes well, with no complications, Cook could return on December 20th against the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. Cook has played quite well so far this year, and despite having a limited success on the ground to an extent against the 49ers, he was impactful through the air with 6 catches for 64 yards. And although he maybe hasn't been peak Dalvin Cook the way that fantasy owners hoped he was going to be, he was still, before his injury, on pace to hit the 1,000-yard mark this year. Now, we will see what the timing looks like here for Dalvin Cook. Again, he tore that labrum in his other shoulder earlier, and those two injuries are a bit of a red flag right now for the Vikings star back. So he is going to miss at least some time. It's a matter of just how much time he will be out and how the Vikings handle this injury, since they are still alive for now in the playoff. We'll break down some internal options for how the Vikings plan to replace Dalvin Cook. But first, it is the holiday season, and I want to let you guys know about the Cyber Monday deal going on at Fanatics. You can get 20% off a wide array of their Vikings gear when you go to chatsports.com/Vikings Monday. Now, as a reminder, you will probably, but maybe not, need to apply promo code Monday at checkout to get the 20% off. And there are other items, by the way, on sale for more than 20%, but that's the Cyber Monday deal. It's that 20% baseline. Now, not all jerseys are on sale, unfortunately, but there are a ton of great items for you or a loved one, especially if you're like me and you're terrible to shop for. This is an easy way to put something on your Christmas list and save your loved ones some money in the process. So check it out, chatsports.com/Vikings Monday. That link will be in the comments section and in the description. Now back to Dalvin Cook here. As with Cook out for at least a little bit, you would fully expect Alexander Mattison to step up as the next back for Minnesota. I would love to see, by the way, before we talk more about Mattison, some more reps and opportunities for Kenny Wangu, the dynamic return specialist who frankly should be an all-pro return man this year. He becomes RB2. Mattison becomes the lead back. I think we all know what Mattison is able to do. Minnesota should trust him. I don't think the offense has to change that much with Cook out. Now, Cook is not the only injury for Minnesota this week. So what is your concern level right now over all of these Vikings injuries? Scale this for me, 1 to 10. 1 being you're not worried at all, 10 being you're freaking out. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down and type your responses at that pinned comment. Beyond Dalvin Cook, there were 2 other significant, or at least notable, injuries this week for Minnesota. Anthony Barr and Christian Darrisaw. We begin with Barr. He injured his hamstring against the 49ers. He dealt with a knee injury earlier this year. I don't know how severe this injury is, but Barr is not quite look like the same guy this year. I think those injuries are a factor. His status, as we sit here filming this, is a bit unknown, and he is a key part of a Vikings defense that hasn't been that great this year, which stinks given Mike Zimmer's background as a defensive-minded head coach. Now, this is bad news for Minnesota in the event that Barr misses some significant time. That is a big deal for Minnesota. Barr has not been the same guy this year. But I do think, and I don't mean to throw too much shade here, but he is still the second-best linebacker by a pretty damn big margin on this team. He's clearly a better football player than Nick Vigil, but he's also not as good as Eric Kendricks either. With Barr potentially out for time, I think you will see a similar rotation to what we saw in the Niners game. Kendricks, of course, remains linebacker 1, given how often most teams operate in that nickel package, which is a 2-linebacker set. I think Nick Vigil becomes linebacker 2. Blake Lynch becomes linebacker 3. But I'll say this. You drafted Chaz Surratt and Troy Dye this year out of UNC and Oregon, respectively. I would be okay, especially if it's a significant injury for Anthony Barr, if you give those guys more reps down the stretch. To Christian Darrisaw now, hurt in the fourth quarter. He was rolled up with that apparent ankle injury. He was blocking, and then I can't remember if it was a Vikings player or a Niners player. They kind of collided, and they roll up into the back of Anthony Barr. He limped off the field. Apparently, he was getting ready to return to play before they did sideline him. He had that ankle taped back up. So my suspicion here, as it relates to Christian Darrisaw, is that this is not a massive injury. Now, that is suspicion and not sourced information. I'm sure in the near future we'll know for sure just how bad, if at all, this injury is for Christian Darrisaw. But it doesn't sound like that big of a deal. And that is a very good thing for Minnesota, because I like Darrisaw. I was high on him coming out of Virginia Tech. He was a mean mauler, good fit, I thought, for the Vikings offense. And he's so much better than Rashad Hill is. With the injuries and the loss to San Francisco, make no mistake, the Vikings' playoff chances, unfortunately, did take a hit. Are they still a playoff team with all of these injuries? Type in a Y for yes, they are, or N for no, they are not. Again, folks, if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe for more free Minnesota Vikings videos. It is, after all, a meritocracy here at Chat Sports. The more subscribers the channel has, the more videos we're able to do for you guys. So let's catch up to, our Lions channel at minimum, which are kicking our butts right now. YouTube.com/Vikings Today. Subscribe right now.